When it comes to having major success on eBay and getting a ton of sales, I believe there are three main pillars or things that you have to do to be successful. The first one is sourcing. What items are you putting in your store? How much time are you dedicating to finding those items? And what are you doing to get better and better at sourcing more profitable, fast moving, and a higher quantity of these items? The second most important thing that will lead to success on your eBay store and increase your sales is your actual listings of these items that you are sourcing. You're going to need to have great titles, item specifics, and descriptions, so that way your items can be found in search. Next, you're going to need great photos that accurately represent the item that will be sent out to the customer. And then third, you need very good policies that will entice the customer to buy your item as opposed to the other items listed. These are shipping policies, your handling time policies, as well as your return policies and payment policies. The third pillar in having major success on eBay and increasing your sales is your account health. This has to do with customer service. How often are you answering questions, handling returns? The next is positive feedback. You need to make sure that you are actually providing a quality service that will be represented in your feedback from customers. And then also your service metrics. Are you shipping your items on time in the allotted time that you said you would? Are you actually taking care of your customers when there are returns or difficulties? Are your items arriving as not as described or broken? And most importantly, are you avoiding defects? If your account is in good health, if you have great policies and listings, and if you are sourcing awesome inventory, you're going to have huge sales on eBay. Now, some of you might be saying, I already do all three of these things, yet my sales are continuously going down, or they are not where they used to be, or I have just never actually experienced great sales on eBay. Where do I go from here? Well, honestly, if you are doing these three things continuously with every item that you list, you're going to have an awesome amount of sales on eBay. But when your sales dip or when they do slow down, one of the major reasons why is pricing. A fairly quickly moving item on eBay sells within 90 days or less. That's 3 months. A lot can happen in 3 months in consumer cycles and the way that people purchase items. Sometimes we buy something from a thrift store or a yard sale that is currently selling for about $30 plus shipping on eBay. So we list our item for around $30 plus shipping on eBay. But by the time our sale is supposed to come in, sometimes it's immediate or sometime during the next several months, the price of that item tanks considerably, and we are left above market. And all of the new people that are discovering this item, when they run comps, they see, oh, it's actually selling for $22, $23. They list it accordingly, and theirs are selling before ours do. What I recommend doing is a common practice, and that is to look over your listings. I recommend doing this. I do this daily. You can do it weekly, monthly, or quarterly, but it's really important that you check up on your items. So eBay tracks how long our items have been listed for us, principally because they charge us an insertion fee every 30 days or charge us a subscription, but they let us know how many days our item has been listed on eBay. So what I do is I try to shoot for a 100% sell-through rate, which means if 100 items are listed and 100 items are sold in the last 90 days, that's the number that I'm shooting for. I want to see items that have 40 sold, 40 listed. I'm okay picking up some items that have 20 listed and 10 sold, because I'm also going to find a ton of items that have 20 listed and 35 sold. But I'm trying to shoot for an average store items of a 100% sell-through rate. Now, what happens is every time that my items reach 90 days, I go in and I take a look at the item and I make sure that I am still on market on my pricing. I find a lot of times that when I go and I do this, something that was selling for $15 that I listed for $15 is now only selling for $7. So I have to make the decision, am I going to drop this down to $7? Or am I going to take this out of my shop, put it into a lot, and then resell it back onto eBay in the form of a lot or on a different website or to another local reseller in town? Or am I going to drop this item down to $7? Or am I going to try to get $11 even though the market isn't necessarily showing me that? What I do is every 90 days, I take a look at these items and I adjust titles and prices, because I'm always striving to follow those first three pillars of sourcing great items, having great listings, and having awesome account health. But sometimes when I'm in the flow of listing, I'm trying to get everything done as soon as I can. I don't pay attention completely to the title structure and how great that can be. I sometimes miscalculate the shipping, things like that. So when I'm going through these items every 90 days, I'm taking a look at the shipping policies to make sure that those aren't outrageous. I'm making sure that my price is still up to date with the market. I'm making sure that the item specifics, irrelevant ones, didn't get added in, or I'm seeing if I can add some more relevant items. And sometimes I just find that for whatever reason, the market value has gone up a little bit or has maintained the same, but my item just isn't selling. So I take it down, I make some tweaks to it, and I relist it. There's several ways that you can do this. You can do the delist, relist. If you're going to do delist, relist, I highly recommend making changes. Don't just delist the same item and relist the same item at the same price, the same policies, the same shipping, the same photos, the same title, the same everything. You're going to want to make changes to these listings, or else you're just going to be in this constant loop of putting up the same stuff that didn't sell and hoping that for some reason it's going to sell this time with no major changes made to it. Huge companies have sales, they have markdown events, they have events that bring more people to stores. We need to be doing these things as well to move our items, not just put up a Gatorade for $18 and when the market only says that they're going to buy it for $6, we keep trying to sell that Gatorade for $18 and just relisting it and relisting it and relisting it. Terrible example, but we do this all the time. So I list about 25 items per day, and I usually sell the majority of those 25 items in 90 days. But as the cycle goes through, every day I check, I usually have about anywhere from 6 to 18 items about to hit the 90-day mark. So I edit those 6 to 18 items. I take a look at the titles, I take a look at the prices, I take a look at all of these things that can affect the sell-through rate, and I make them better so I can sell this item. I really recommend doing this, but better than doing this is following those first three principles. I'll go over them very quickly again. Sourcing, you want to establish a route, you want to find high demand, fast sell-through items, and then you want to develop connections to get more of those items more frequently. Next are listings. You want to make sure you have amazing titles, you have great policies, and you have great photos that accurately represent the item. And then third, focus on account health. Do customer service every day. Make sure you're answering questions about your items. Make sure you're sending out offers. Make sure that you're handling returns. Second, always strive to do awesome on your shipments, so that way you are getting great feedback and you're building continuous great positive feedback. And then third, make sure that you are on top of your service metrics. Make sure you are not getting defects, make sure you are taking care of your customers, and make sure you are sending out items accurately described. And also make sure that you're not sending out stolen items, because that will lead to terrible account health. But do those three things, and then when that still isn't working, every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, whatever you guys want to do, make sure that you are updating your listings so that way they are selling fast. Love you guys. Hope this helps. Have a great day.